Yo, what's going on, guys? It's Mikey back here, and today we're going to be doing an overall recap of the series so far between the Miami Heat and the Atlanta Hawks. The Heat are currently up 3-1 against the Hawks after a disappointing loss at home in Game 4 for the Hawks. I'm sorry I haven't been able to do individual recaps for Game 2, 3, and 4. My brother visited from home, so I had him here over the weekend, and it is now finals week in college, so I've been pretty busy, but nonetheless, I'm gonna do a different type of structured video today. It's just gonna be nothing but it's gonna be no box scores, no specific numbers. Just really what I've seen from the Hawks, what I've seen from the Heat, different players' impacts, and whether I think the Hawks can eventually go the distance and maybe force even a Game 7. So that's what this video is going to be about. Without further ado, let's get into it. So first thing I want to talk about is the Miami Heat defense. The Heat have been an elite defense all year. They were top 2 in defending the three-point line, and it's really showing. The Hawks have shot bad from 3 this whole series. Some of that is just the Hawks' bad shooting, but a lot of that give credit to Miami as well. They've got great perimeter defenders, including PJ Tucker, Kyle Lowry, who's out in Game 4, and now will be out in Game 5. Gabe Vincent's a quality defender on the perimeter. They just have dogs. Bam can even switch. Jimmy Butler, obviously, you know how good of a defender he is. So they really got a lot of guys to throw at us at the perimeter. And especially because we do not have a lot of off-ball movement, it's easy for the Heat to rotate and send doubles at Trae Young and then recover because we don't have a lot of off-ball movement. We really need to, if we're going to force a Game 7 in this series, have more off-ball movement and be able to disrupt the rotations and recover patterns from the Heat after their double teams of Trae, because the Miami Heat are basically forcing other people to hurt us, and it's not forcing our others to hurt them, and it's not happening. Bogdanovic hasn't had the greatest series. Trae's obviously struggled in this series, but he's been doubled all the time. He still should be better than this, but they're essentially taking him out of the game, even though he had a great Game 3. DeLon Wright's been the best player for the Hawks in this series, and I don't think it's particularly close. His defensive impact, his offensive rebounding, he's got a lot of and ones on fast break layups, and just here and there, just contributing to winning plays all the time like he always does, including locking up Tyler Hero for the majority of this series. So really, he's been the best player of the series. DeAndre Hunter's been a bright spot for the Hawks in this series, but other than those two, really there hasn't been a consistent guy. Bogdanovic has struggled, Kevin Huerter struggled, John Collins has struggled, even though he's not 100%. Clint Capella didn't look great when he first came back, but he's obviously not 100% either. So we've got to figure out something, and we've got to figure out fast because, like I said, the Heat defense is great on the perimeter. Next thing I want to talk about is the interior defense for the Heat. We really haven't made it an emphasis, I feel like, in our offense to get into the paint. And while that is some of the doing of the Heat because of their elite perimeter defenders, I don't think we've made a conscious effort to try and do it either. I think it's a combination of both, and I really do think that we can get to the paint a little bit easier if we just try a little bit more. We just need to be quicker off the pick and roll, quicker with decisions, quicker with ball movement. I do think we can get into the paint against this Miami defense. Bam is a great player, but he's been neutralized this series by Onyeka Okongwu for the majority of the time. On the offensive end, he hasn't been good. So, and on the defensive end, it's not like he's roamed the paint or dominated the paint. It's when he's switched on to guards, he's been able to guard them, which is is a great strength of Bam's. But in the paint, he really hasn't been dominant on the defensive end either. And while he is a great defensive player, I think we just need to make a conscious effort of getting into the paint more because our offense is just not it's just not working. It can't be just Trae and then all the others. It needs to be everyone working together. And then for specific players for the Heat, I've said this really all season long. I really did not want to see the Heat in the first round up until they struggled at the end of the season. After they struggled, I was like, okay, maybe this team has some holes. But they have guys like Max Strus, Tyler Hero, Gabe Vincent, Duncan Robinson, even Kyle Lowry. All 5 of those guys just come off screens ready to shoot. And Trey, Bogey, Kevin Herter, all three of them really struggle navigating off-ball screens and shoot and defending the three-point line. That's what the Heat want to do, and it's showing in this series with Max Strus killing us, Gabe Vincent knocking down huge threes all the time, Duncan Robinson in the first game especially. So it's hurt us, and it's my fears at the start of the series. They've just become true, which is unfortunate. Jimmy Butler's been the best player in the series. We thought Trae Young would be, but that's not to be. So credit to Jimmy Butler for having a great series. PJ Tucker's had his impact on all the games, including a great offensive game in Game 1, going 4-4 from 3. And Tyler Hero really has not had a great series at all. DeLon Wright's clamped him up, but except for one game, Trae had a good game, Game 3. Tyler Hero had a good game, Game 3. But Tyler Hero's game didn't result in a win. So say all you want about Tyler Hero, but at the end of the day, like I said in the recap of the first game, Tyler Hero would not get easy buckets this matchup because of DeLon Wright, and it's happened. Now on to the Hawks. Really, on the defensive end, I don't see a major problem other than the three-point line. We're defending the paint okay. It's really just got to be just navigating those off-ball screens, and we really need to switch those screens on the off-ball screens that allow Duncan Robinson, Strus, Gabe Vincent, Tyler Hero to shoot all these threes. We really need to switch because other than Tyler Hero and Gabe Vincent, Max Strus and Duncan Robinson can't attack off the dribble. They're not going to look to go into the paint and score. They're mainly there to shoot. So if we switch those screens, they're not going to try and attack and mismatch. So I believe we need to switch those screens more often. I wonder if Nate McMillan sees that, hopefully. But he's also been god-awful this series. 2 20-plus point runs for the Heat. It was like a 16-0 run in Game 4, a 20-0 run in Game 3, which somehow we came back and won, and no timeout. It's ridiculous. And in Game 3, we played a 4-guard lineup with DeLon Wright, Trae Young, Kevin Huerter, and Bogdan Bogdanovic, and that essentially won the game. And when the Heat went small and ran PJ Tucker at center, I can't believe Nate didn't put that lineup in. That lineup worked so well because we had more decision makers other than Trae to get back into the paint, and we didn't see that lineup yesterday, which was just insane to me. Nate McMillan has not been great this year. I mean, to be honest, I hope he's not coaching next year, but I think he will. And we've just have to think of something on the offensive end. The defensive end, it's pretty obvious what we have to do. Other than a great game from Jimmy Butler, I feel like DeAndre Hunter's done a solid job. They've involved Trae Young in some pick and rolls, and that's really had Trae struggling on the defensive end. Kyle Lowry's been setting screens, and Jimmy Butler's been getting involved in the pick and roll, and it's having Trae make decisions on defense he's really never had to make in his career. So credit to Spoelstra for doing that, but Trae's got to be better on the defensive end if we want to have a chance. Other than that, on the offensive end, we need to be able to play faster. The Heat defense, once it's set up, is lethal, but if it's not, we'll be able to see the cracks, and that's what we did in Game 3 at the end. That 4-guard lineup allowed us to play really fast, get past their press. They pressed us in Game 4 so that they could set up the defense, and it worked. We didn't put in that 4-guard lineup to make sure we can get up the court faster, and I really want to see that in Game 5. I really think this Hawks team can do this. I think we can win Game 5, but then we might lose Game 6 in classic Hawks fashion, winning the tougher game and losing the easier game. Excuse me. But who knows what will happen. Go down to Miami. It hasn't looked good in both games. Well, Game 2 was okay. But, Game 1 obviously was a blowout. Game 4 was a blowout. So, you never know. Crazy things have happened. 3-1 leads have been overcame before. But this Heat team's playing really well right now. I don't know if we can rattle off 3 straight wins. Hopefully we can force a game 6 so we can come back to Atlanta, because anything can happen in the ATL at State Farm Arena. You know how good the Hawks have been playing at home lately. So anything can happen. But the main thing on offense, the 2 things I'm going to leave with this video, the Hawks got to play faster, and on defense, the Hawks have to switch those off-ball screens and make sure to be able to. I don't remember what exactly I was going to say, but You got to be able to stick to those shooters. We got to switch those screens, and also, here's what I was gonna say. When Trae Young is put in the pick and roll, we need to trap Jimmy Butler and make another person make a decision. Make Kyle Lowry have to make a decision. At this point in his career, I'm not worried about him going off offensively. I'll live with Kyle Lowry trying to run the offense. So, or not trying to run the offense, but trying to score. So if we can trap Jimmy Butler and leave Kyle Lowry to be more of a playmaker and shoot and score than Jimmy Butler, I'm fine with that. So I think we should trap Jimmy Butler, see how his playmaking is, and we'll see what we go from there, because we clearly do need a different defensive game plan after Game 4. But yeah, that'll be the video. Hopefully, we'll be making more recaps for a Game 5W from the Hawks, and coming back to State Farm Arena looking to force a Game 7 even. So I'll be back at after a recap for Game 5 probably. And thanks for sticking around and listening to this video. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe, and I'll see you guys in the next one. Thanks.